that one, and it was a little bit disappointing, but we'll tell you all about it. And then Howard versus Long Reach, Oxon Hill, and Eleanor Roosevelt, and also Gwynn Park at Largo to round off our game previews, and of course where you can watch it right here at DMVSTREAM.COM, and you have a few channels for your options on Thursday and Saturday, so be sure to check it out. But prior to that, and prior to everything that we have coming for you today on our last
show, if you want to see your highlight in this show, well, it's as simple as tweeting your boy. I'm at BJ Coop, and you got to remember to hashtag it, Ole Mets. All right, you can tweet in your Huddle, YouTube, Vimeo, really any video link by Sundays at noon, and we'll consider it for use in the upcoming episode of Top Plays. Now, you got to remember to tune in on
This past weekend, we had a chance to stream live the Good Counsel versus Gonzaga football game on the Washington Post Sports Facebook page.
Welcome back, everybody. Wrapping things up here on Buchanan Field on I Street. Number 7, Gonzaga, with an impressive 31-7 victory over the Good Counsel Falcons.
It's coming down the wire. You got 4 games left now. What's it mean like to go out on a high note like this?
Like I said, it feels great. You know, we just
spot like going into today was on your counterpart, Muhammad Ibrahim. Talk about his game a little bit and how you went into this preparation-wise to go up and compete against a back like that.
Yeah, great friend. You know, me and Muhammad, good friend. So you know, a great back also. And he's the leader for his team, like I'm the leader for my team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So you know, as a defense, we really wanted to limit him, and we was able to do that today. And, you know, prayers go out to him as he hurt his hand. So, you know, prayers go out to him.
Marzi here, along with Emery Hunt and Nick Eilerson. And one thing I like Coach Shriver said, he said, we wanted to make a memory today. So it's not just about winning this game or the standings or the stats. It was just about the experience of this game, and they made the most of it today.
Absolutely. You see the seniors out here. You see their families. You see the energy from both teams. And I thought this was just a great day to showcase what high school football is all about.
And Nick, I mean, you work for the Washington Post. The big story here is not just going to be the win, it's going to be the potential severe injury to Good Counsel's.
The extent of the injury, but I like what Tyrese said there in the post-game interview. He's a guy who's not really worried about his own individual stats after approaching 2,000 yards last year, being the area's leading.
Led to a touchdown run where he froze the linebacker in the hole for a touchdown.
Then that second quarter, Good Counsel's offense started to get going a little bit. They bring in their key, the play where he got injured, so everything going wrong at that point for Good Counsel.
And this was the second special teams blunder right here. Good effort on the punt return, but you got to protect the football. You put it on the ground.
What he does.
Don't sleep on Max Fisher.
Yeah.
He'll beat you. He will burn you once or twice a game. He's good for those kind of big breakout plays, and there it is again.
In bursts.
Yeah, I got to be right in front of their home crowd, and wow, man, the student crowd, they're amazing. The whole time, talking the whole time, they're amazing. They really feed the team, they really play off of the crowd, and it's amazing.
And our top performer was Tyree Randolph, the Gonzaga's running back, and he really came out to perform for the Zags.
Oh yeah, Tyree Randolph had a big game, as he always does. He had 30 carries for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this is something that you come to expect out of a guy like Tyree Randolph, to show up in the big games when Gonzaga really needs him the most.
All right, let's get into our game report number 2. That was between Howard and Long Reach. Brenton, you had a chance to take a close look at this one. What was the story?
Right, both Howard and Long Reach came into this game with a record of 7-0, and Howard had a big-time winning streak against other teams from Howard County. The Lightning were looking to change that. We'll take a look at this game-winning play as Cameron Hooper makes the touchdown catch late in the fourth quarter. We'll have more on him in a little bit, but Howard's defense came up with a huge game, and they needed it because their offense didn't light up the scoreboard like they normally do all season. Bryson Craven had 2 interceptions, which stopped some momentum, which saved some momentum that the Lightning was building up. And Tyler Raines had a tough day. He had over 200 yards passing, but Howard made it tough on him. They intercepted him 3 times, including this interception here. And he's been electric for them all season. He had a touchdown to open the game, and he had over 180 yards rushing and 1 touchdown as Howard goes on receptions for 43 yards, but he had the game-winning touchdown. And the real story is that Cameron Hooper had been sick all week long going into this game, and he didn't hardly get any sleep the night before the game. So to be able to come out and dig deep and be able to make the big-time play when Howard needed it the most was a gutsy performance by Cameron Hooper.
Wow, coming back from an illness is really something sometimes that can really spur an athlete to come back and deliver something special. It seems like he sure did there. Our game report number 3.
On Hayes, who had a monster game. As you're going to see, here he is on the end around, and he brings it all the way down and shoves the defender out of bounds. And he really had a great game. And between him and Daniel George, the other receiver, they really make a dynamic duo, and they make life for DeJuan Rollins so easy out there. But this was really about the running game. They have a 3-back committee between number 20, Montana Dawkins, who leads the pace, and they really put it on Eleanor Roosevelt, and they kept the momentum on their side by running the ball between the 3 of them. And here we have our guy to watch, Daniel George, who had a nice game. And I know me and Brent have talked about him. He's a junior. He's going to have a nice season next year. He has 8 touchdowns on the year, and it'll be good to see him. And it's great to see Oxon Hill 8-0, and they just got into the top 20 all net, and they're going to be a fun team to watch the rest of the year.
And you mentioned him, DeJuan Rollins. He earns our respect for our top performer. And you take a look at some of his numbers. Didn't do too much, but did enough.
Yeah, exactly. You see only 4 completions. But
3 game reports today on the Prep Zone. Before we get going on to what Brenton has next in store for us, take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes moments from this past weekend's Good Counsel Gonzaga matchup, live from the Washington Post Sports Facebook.
That's a heck of a job right there. He froze that linebacker in the hole with a subtle dent. Getting outside, beating him man on line of scrimmage, tip on his way for the touchdown.
Yeah, great determination there. I thought he was going to be forced out just short, but stretched that ball across.
Hey everybody, welcome back into the Prep Zone. Time to get back into our game reports. And Brenton, we're going to start with you. This one was between Westfield and Centerville. I think Derek and I might have our last laugh here, but take us through one down anyway.
Oh boy, yeah, you guys definitely got me on this one. But this was a big-time rivalry game between 2 teams that had pretty good records coming into it. They've known each other since their Pop Warner days. Ramon Johnson would find Sean Eckert on a deep pass for a touchdown in the second quarter. And then Sean Eckert's going to catch a wide receiver screen, and then he'll get past some Wildcat defenders for another touchdown. He had 4 receptions on the day, over 100 yards, and the 2 touchdowns that you just saw. So a big day for Sean Eckert, but the third and final touchdown pass by Ramon Johnson's the most beautiful one. He finds Ivory Frimpong, who's able to get 1 foot into the end zone for that touchdown. The Bulldogs' defense was dominant all game long. Joey Free came up with an interception, and he was fighting and fighting and fighting for more yards, and Westfield's defense dominated. That set up another touchdown by the Bulldogs, this one on the ground. Westfield also forced 2 fumbles on the game, as Centerville's offense really struggled to get anything going, and the Bulldogs would be in control throughout the game, 35-0, even though I picked Centerville. win that game.
For the record, Derek and I absolutely respect underdogs.
Oh, yeah.
And you went ahead and did it. You took a risk and didn't pay off this time, but
maybe next
a worthy
time.
shot.
Maybe next time.
We've mentioned him many times before, as you did in that highlight. Ramon Johnson is our top performer once again. What was so special?
Well, Ramon Johnson, he only had 7 out of 13 passes, but when he did complete it, he completed them for big plays, 155 yards, and the 3 touchdowns that you saw. So he had the big play ability in this game, and that really paid off for him.
Looked like Woodson was going to take this game. It was 26-14 at the half with Woodson up, but here we see at the end of the game clincher, we got running back Mikhail Gamble, who gets the onside kick and takes it to the house to make sure it's a 2 possession score game winner. So it was a great victory right there behind their great homecoming crowd. But early on, it looked like Woodson was going to take it, but quarterback Tim Heltzer for Mount Vernon had 7 passing touchdowns on the game, and their defense did not let Woodson get into any kind of groove in the second half at all. And I give a lot of credit to first-year coach Monty Fritz for Mount Vernon. He has instilled a great new winning, motivated culture, and he has really had his team with a lot of confidence this year, and it's been amazing to see. And here we have my co-MVP of the game, Mikhail Gamble, who was recruited by Coach Fritz from the basketball team. He's emerged as a true leader of this team as we see him get the pass from quarterback Tim Heltzer for one of his 7 passing touchdowns. And it was a great game, great homecoming crowd for Mount Vernon. They're really a team to rise, and they clinched their playoff berth with this win.
There you go. And how about the other member of that co-MVP honor that you just coined all of a sudden, Tim Heltzer?
It was a tough one, but when you have 7 passing touchdowns on the game, it's hard to go against it. He's only a junior, and he's really, with this pass-happy offense, he's really flourishing in this offense. It's amazing to see.
I don't care what type of system you're running over there. 7 touchdowns is 7 touchdowns, and for him to only be a junior is something special for sure.
All right, get him on your fantasy.
That'll do it for our game reports. 5 and 5 special ones. But before we get on to our previews, take a look at just a few weeks ago, DMVSTREAM.COM broadcasted Midnight Madness from Georgetown University.
That kit for this event. Our flight pack allows us to produce a multi-camera stream live to the web by marrying together a series of state-of-the-art products and production tools for one easy setup. Now, we've built out our kit and run 4 independent camera angles back to our NewTek TriCaster. Our director is then producing a live show for the viewers at home. We've also tapped into the in-house network, the internet, which allows our director to pull in live graphics from an independent graphics operator who's working on his own system and feeding graphics. The Teradek VidiU. This great product simply allows you to take an HDMI feed and you can encode that broadcast separately directly to the client's platform, which today is the Washington Post Facebook page. We've run our own audio back from our staging area where our talent is telling the story for the viewers at home. We've also pulled an audio feed from the in-house PA so we can switch over to the in-house DJ whenever we want to send that audio to our viewers at home. All right, for more great videos like these and to learn more about
team previews, and our first is between Flint Hill at Murray. Brenton, you are scheduled to take a close look at this one. What are we expecting going in?
Yeah, this is going to be a big game between both Flint Hill and Murray. Flint Hill has a record of 6-1. Murray is 7-0. Whoever wins this is going to be in the driver's seat to win the MAC championship. Take a look at the Frogs quarterback and big playmaker Garrison Burnett. He's got over 1,300 yards rushing to go along with over 900 yards passing. So this is a guy who can beat you with both his arm and his legs, and he's been doing that for the Frogs all season long. Don't sleep on their passing game, as Walker Venable has a number of really good receivers, including Trey Rucker, Jamarian Dawkins, and last but not least, their tight end Gage Herdman, who can jump up and leap and make some of the greatest catches you'll ever see. Also, before I forget, Zach Garcia is another very good receiver.
Side, and that is Walker Venable.
That's right, Walker Venable. He's got 860 passing yards, 9 touchdowns. You might want to increase the completion percentage just a little bit in this game if they're going to beat undefeated Murray, but I would expect him to be a key factor in this game.
And boy, on Murray's side of the football, Garrison Burnett, when he kicks it into high gear, you better look out.
That's right. I mean, like I said earlier, he had the 1,300 yards, 900 passing, and he's got 28 combined touchdowns. 10
is Eastern at Wilson. Derek, you're going to take a close look at this one. What are we expecting going in?
So this is going to be a good one in the D.C. metropolitan area. I think the biggest thing for Eastern to take this game away is to get their quarterback Jerome Johnson going. He has 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing, and you can see his playmaking ability with his feet. He makes people miss, and his ability to scramble gives his receivers so much time to get separations. As a lot of his touchdown passes like this are to wide open receivers, and if they can get him going, they'll have a good chance to win this game, and their defense hopefully will come up big and get more takeaways like this to defeat Wilson. But on the other hand, Wilson is 6-2. They're averaging 46.8 points a game, and they're 3-0 this season, and they just beat Anacostia 62-6. So it seems like all systems are a go for their high-powered offense. So we will see what happens, but I'm looking for a shootout this game, and it'll be between Jerome Johnson and other quarterback Steve Williams for Wilson, and it'll be a good one.
And Eastern's Jerome Johnson is our player to watch, so how special are these numbers?
You can see only a 10-yard difference between us.
And you all already mentioned him. How about these numbers?
Oh, he's got the greatest pick that we have right here, this leaping touchdown he has, and he's committed to Old Dominion. He's only 3 interceptions.
Producer Nick Plum may have had a little hint on that one, but we'll have to check out after if Williams had any hint on that one. But before we get on to our third and final game preview, take a look here, the Player of the Week and Athlete of the Week. I think you'll enjoy. Hey again, everybody. Bob Trotza here to unveil the DMVSTREAM.COM Play of the Week. And this week, it comes from Clarksburg, Maryland. With the Clarksburg Coyotes trying to convert the extra point to tie the game, Richard Montgomery's Ty Hebron comes up with the clutch play, blocking the extra point to secure the 28-27 win for the Rockets. If you want to see your play as the Play of the Week on this show, be sure to tweet us at DMVStream. Hey again, everybody. Bob Trotza here to unveil the DMVStream.com Athlete of the Week. And this week, it goes to Arundel's Darius Hunter. Hunter ran for 201 yards and 5 touchdowns to lead the Wildcats to the 52-21 win over Northeast. If you want to be the DMVStream Athlete of the Week, be sure to tweet us your nomination at DMVStream. Welcome back into the Prep Zone. All right, fellas, time for our third and final game preview of the night here. Brenton, you were assigned to this one. It's between Largo and Gwynn Park. What should we expect in this one?
Well, this is going to be an absolutely huge game for both Largo and Gwynn Park, but especially for Largo, this is a must-win. Gwynn Park comes into this game with a record of 7-1. Their only loss came in a 42-37 shootout against Potomac. But they've got 3 very good running backs. All of them have over 300 yards rushing on the season. Meanwhile, Largo has a very opportunistic defense. They get this fumble recovery here. They can force a whole bunch of turnovers. And when they get these turnovers, they're not just looking to get the ball back, but they're looking to get the ball back and score. So Largo is going to have to force a bunch of turnovers against Gwynn Park if they're going to want to have a chance in this one. And Ike, he's somebody that anytime he gets the ball, he's got the ability to make big plays.
Certainly coming off a big game. We'll see how that transitions into late October here. Who do you guys like in the Largo and Gwynn Park? I'll start with you, Derek.
You know, I'm going to take Gwynn Park with this one. I think they're going to take it home with this one.
And how about you, Brent?
Yeah, I'm going.
As we always know, things are heating up and things are getting very interesting here in the DMV. Again, this is our final Prep Zone edition for the month of October. We'll see you next time.